Hi students, I am Bazi from Meslova Dizzy Classroom. So far we discussed or learned about different types of adaptations in plants and animals to different conditions from land to water, especially the marine ecosystem. In marine ecosystem, it has adapted to incredible varieties of conditions and also variations. Now you have to understand the freshwater ecosystem, which is much more different than a marine ecosystem. The freshwater contains different types of rivers, streams, lakes and ponds, in which the ponds and lakes are standing water, which are also called as lentic zones, and the running waters like rivers and streams, which also called as lotic waters. As a result, the living conditions from the running water to the standing water, the complete lifestyle is very different. The conditions like salt content, food and light availability, water temperatures and dissolved gases. If you observe, all these conditions are very different and they are changing from various from running water to standing water like rivers and lakes to the ponds and streams. The salt content is very low in fresh water. The fish present in the fresh water is facing the exactly reverse to the fish present in the salt water. Due to low concentration of salt, the fish faces the osmoregulation problem due to pressure and salt variations. If it drinks plenty of water, it may cause cell damage due to osmoregulations of their body fluids. It may cause bursting of cells or damaging of the tissues of the body. This osmosis is very peculiar. Due to concentrations of variations of the liquids are hypotonic, hypertonic and isotonic. The body fluids present in the fresh water have, compared with medium of water present in the rivers, is hypotonic. That means the body fluid concentration is very high when compared to the surrounding medium of the water. That means the water enters forcefully into the fish always and it will dilute the body fluids. It may cause lot of problems in their body tissues. It may lead to swelling of the tissues or bursting of the tissues. And this is one of the problem present in the freshwater fish or freshwater organisms. Hence, the fish present in the freshwater avoids drinking and they excrete excess urine, whereas the fish present in the seawater drinks plenty of water to avoid dehydration, but they excrete very low urine. Hence, the fish present in the river faces the salt problem. They reabsorb the salt through specially adapted kidneys or gills or certain substances or certain glands present in the body. Like the marine ecosystem, the freshwater ecosystem also divided into different zones depends on the light penetration. Different factors like light, salt content, food availability, oxygen depends on this. The complete zones of the freshwater also divided into different zones. The topmost or upper surface of the water, that zone is called as littoral zone. This is the shallow zone or near to the shore. Here the water is very muddy and it receives plenty of light to do photosynthesis. At the edge of the water body, it is home to many plants and animals which are surrounding to the rivers or any water body. The plants like mosses, water lily, vallisneria, hydrilla and several types of algae we find in this zone. The animals have well developed sight and dull color in the coloration is very dull and they are very fast swimmers. The animals like snails, clams, insects, crustaceans, fishes and amphibians, and eggs and larvae of dragonflies and other organisms, etc. we will find in this zone. And different predators like crocodiles, snakes, tortoises, ducks and different types of birds we will see in this zone. The open water surface or open water body which receives constant light, that is limnatic zone. There are different types of floating plants like water hyacinth, Wolffia, Pistia and different phytoplanktons and zooplanktons may find in this zone. In this zone, it contains a variety of freshwater fish with bright, shiny, greyish or silver black scales that help them to merge with the surrounding water system. The transparent and whitish body crustaceans like Daphnia, Cyclops, small shrimps and prawns, etc. we will also see. This zone is called as a photic zone. And almost all these plants present in this zone get plenty of light, and which is useful to do photosynthesis for the preparation of the food in that specific ecosystem. Next to the limnatic zone, the deepest zone we called as profundal zone. And this is the deepest zone. It has dark or having little light or having cold water zone. This profundal zone, which is the deepest zone, it has only the mud and it has a tiny particles of dead and decay materials of different types of organisms, and also it consisting of a anaerobic activity of different bacteria present in that zone. It makes water very turbid, and many kinds of microorganisms like bacteria present in this zone, and they help in the decomposition or degradation of this dead matter in this zone. The organisms specially which are present in this zone are called as bottom dwellers. They rely mostly on dead and decay organic matter, and also they are having a special type of adaptations in their senses, especially the audible senses as well as touch senses, instead of vision or sight. These animals are mostly the scavengers or predators. They are like crustaceans, crabs and fishes like eels, glassogobes, snails, etc. we find in this zone. The another factor, that is temperature, which also influencing on the adaptations of different organisms in different zones of the water body. The surface layer is get heated during daytime, whereas the deepest layer is remaining cool in these conditions. Some organisms are migrating from the surface to the deep during daytime, and they will come out onto the surface during night time to avoid heat. In the summers, the waters in the lakes get evaporated, and sometimes the complete lake may vanish, or the complete standing body like ponds and ditches may vanish. Nutrients and oxygen availability become very less, and scarcity may occur in this summer, especially the unfavorable conditions for living organisms, and it may lead to death of most of the organisms present in that water body. In colder regions, what happens, the complete water body may get freezed, and it may lead to killing of many organisms. You know, the temperature plays very important role in the dissolved gases. When compared to hot water, the oxygen is very high in cold waters, but in hot waters what happens, the oxygen level will be decreased, and this is very important to balance the both carbon dioxide and oxygen levels within the same ecosystem. Otherwise, it may influence on life of both plants and animals in that particular water body. If you observe, some of the plants and animals would adapt themselves to any type of conditions, especially if you observe plants like Hydrilla, which is a submerged plant and tolerate to wide range of water quality conditions like fluctuations in salinity. The leaves are very thin and stomata are absent. Stems are highly flexible. It can grow at low light or dim light. It absorbs more carbon dioxide and it stores in its stems, and it stores nutrients for later use. This is one of the better adaptations in Hydrilla. Certain partially submerged plants or free floating plants, the stems are having air spaces. In some plants, the leaves and roots helps in buoyancy and gaseous exchange. If you observe in water hyacinth, that is Eichhornia, or so scientifically we called it as Eichhornia. This is one of the weed plant in agriculture as well as in streams and ponds. If you observe that plant, the base of the plant have a special type of sponge type structures which are present at the base and which helps the plant to float on the surface of the water. If you observe in water lilies, it has a waxy type of coating on the surface of their leaf, and the stomata only present on the surface of the leaf, and it has a large surface and it avoids the sinking of the plant into the water. In this way, almost all these plants avoid sinking into the water. Like the plants, animals like amphibians and reptiles like toads, frogs, alligators, crocodiles, salamanders start their life underwater as eggs and larvae and then move to the ground as adults. The insects like different types of skaters, water beetles, mosquitoes and dragonflies can skim over the surface of the pond. They are playing very important role in the food supply to the entire system. The swans, geese and ducks have streamlined body and webbed feet. These help them to adapt to both conditions on land as well as in water. Certain birds such as herons and egrets, which have long thin-legged birds which wander to the mud and searching different types of insects and food for their survival. The mammals like badgers and otters live near to the water which adapt and even they swim in the water to catch their food. Whenever if you observe the mixing of both sea water as well as river water, where the river joins into the sea, that zone is having different types of salinity concentrations. This water is called as brackish water, where the salt content is below 3.5% and above 1.5%, and this zone is called as brackish water zone. If you observe, this brackish water zone is very important because maximum number of species from the sea water as well as from the fresh water, they will migrate towards the brackish water and they will lay eggs in various types of breeding seasons, and they find different types of breeding zones and different types of laying zones to lay the eggs to grow the next generation. And this zone is very important ecosystems where the organisms adapting itself to lay their eggs and itself to germinate or generate the future generations, and they adjust their complete body structure according to their salt concentration through osmoregulation. These zones are very important for richness of biodiversity, and it is very important to protect these zones. We observe many more adaptations in this planet Earth. in various conditions. From rich conditions of nature and biodiversity to extreme scarcity of nature and poor organisms. From valleys to great elevations of altitudes. From colder region to extreme hot zones. From a small water body to the amazing rivers. From the surface of the sea to the depth of the ocean, we saw and realized the marvelous adaptations in their appearance, experience, relations, acceptance, strategies, behavior, tactics, symbiosis, and camouflage. To fight the gravity, light, heat, salinity, temperature, pressure, food, safety and reproduction. That's the test of nature to sustain and survive. On the one and only home with a hope, that is our planet Earth. Thank you one and all on a great discussion on the best teacher, that is our nature. Bye bye students. We will meet again with an interesting topic in near future.